What's it like to be fired from Uber, and what did the CEO have to say to all the people Uber fired this week?
Xbox,
Twitter, Uber, Postmates,
Netflix, MoviePass,
Google, Facebook, eBay,
DoorDash, Apple, Amazon, Airbnb,
The Apptrepreneur. Hey everyone, this is Kevin the Apptrepreneur, and Uber did something that is definitely a sign that the company might not be as strong as they like to portray themselves as. And that is in the fact that they actually laid off some 400 people from the company. Now, a couple things to mention. These were pretty much all from the marketing department. And I maintained when I talked about the story a couple days ago, you don't need to do a lot of marketing for Uber anymore. You just don't. I wish they would have fired people from the autonomous cars program. I mean, they've poured billions into that, and it's not even close to yielding any rewards. But they had to cut the fat somewhere, and they got rid of their marketing department. Now, the Uber CEO has actually, the email that he wrote to the employees leaked, and we're going to definitely talk about that. However, what we're also going to talk about is what it's like to be fired by Uber, because a lot of people were not happy, and they had some stories to share. However, before we talk about any of those stories, let's have a word from our sponsor.
If you have rideshare insurance, you know what a disaster it is. It's super expensive. Some guys are paying over $100 a month for it on top of their regular insurance. So we're working with an insurance company to help lower prices and get better coverage. They're working on a plan where Uber and Lyft drivers will either pay by the mile or by the hour. You'll only pay for what you use, but we need some information from you, the drivers. We need to know on average how far and how long you drive with Uber and Lyft each week. So would you click on the link below in the description and take just 5 minutes to fill out the survey? We'd really appreciate it.
So this is the first of two articles we're going to be looking at. Uber marketing employees described the week's bloodbath when the company laid off 400 employees in more than a dozen countries this week. So, on Monday morning around 8 a.m. California time, hundreds of Uber employees around the world received an anonymous email from Jill Hasselbaker, the ride-hailing company's head of marketing, communications, and public policy. The company is restructuring its marketing efforts, the senior vice president said, according to now former employee who received the email. Her message continued to say that affected workers would be receiving an invitation to a Zoom video conference and should contact their local human resources executive for more information. All told, 400 workers were fired, equating to about 1/3 of the company's entire marketing team. At Uber San Francisco headquarters on Market Street, affected employees were invited to a small conference room where Hasselbaker spoke only for about 30 seconds, one of the roughly 20 attendees said. A human resources employee spoke next, and the meeting ended in just a few minutes. Talk about the personal Uber touch, right? She didn't say thank you. She just kind of left the attendee, who asked to remain anonymous for fear of retaliation by Uber. Retaliation? Dude, you're fired. You've been let go. What's Uber going to do at this point? But I understand. This is an evil company, in my opinion. Said of Hasselbaker's remarks. A lot of people felt like it was a bloodbath. You didn't get a personalized message from your manager or HR partner or anyone. Gosh, it almost feels like being deactivated through a text message or email. Something I'm sure Uber knows absolutely nothing about. Many of the laid-off employees were not even at the office yet when the email announcement and subsequent meeting occurred, another former employee said. Others tried to access the live stream link only to find it had already ended. Affected workers weren't let out by human resources or operations staff, as in some mass layoffs at large companies. Instead, laid-off employees were told they had until the end of the day, which, in all fairness, that's a little nicer, I suppose. Because, I don't know if anyone's ever been, walked off the lot or out of a building when you're, suspended or something. I have, because, Fry's Electronics gave me that suspension, and then they wrongfully terminated me, and, I sued them and won, of course. I love sharing that story. But it is, a pretty awful feeling to have, someone walk you to the door, and they're like, I'm going to need your badge, and they're usually not nice or cordial about it at all. So it seems it's a little nice that they appear to be giving them like, time to say goodbye and to leave of their own accord. They probably had like a box at the door to just put in your badges. I don't know. I don't know for sure. Obviously, I wasn't there. While the layoffs were not limited to one area of the firm's massive marketing team, brand marketing was hit the hardest, a third former employee said. Outside of Silicon Valley, the hammer hit offices in New York City as well as in Latin America, Europe, Asia, and Middle East. For some employees in the international offices, the process feels robotic and out of touch. Definitely can see that. It's never easy to fire people, but I do believe things could have been handled in a more human way, said one former marketing employee in a Latin American office who asked not to be identified. In that particular location, only about 4 employees remain of the previously 12-person marketing team, the source said. Yeah, that's more than half to let go. To be sure, all fired employees have had individual meetings with human resources representatives, the sources said. Okay, and we're not going to talk about this email here because we're going to read about... Well, actually, I guess we don't need to... I guess we don't need the second article, but what the heck? What the heck? We'll look at it anyway because I bothered to pull it up and have it in the tabs. So, here's the full email that Dara Khosrowshahi sent to everyone, because you do always look to the CEO, like what is the CEO's justification for this mass layoff? Now, personally, I of course believe I know what it is. They're not profitable. They're going to report another earnings loss, probably another couple billion loss. Stockholders are not going to be happy. Stock is going to tank, and yeah, that means I obviously am going to lose money on that stock. So can you guys forgive me for buying it yet? Obviously, I didn't buy it to make money. I kind of kid though. And he's going to try to put as positive as a spin on this as possible. So let's look at what he has to say. I'm obviously going to be snarkily commenting on this the whole time. Team Uber. I love how he says Team Uber. Is that like the new thing? Like no longer are you partners, but now it's Team Uber. This morning, Jill announced important changes we're making to the marketing organization, which you can see below. Since I asked her to take on marketing last month, Jill has worked around the clock to ensure we have the right structure in place to build a consistent brand narrative across audiences, products, and regions. Yes, you did bring her on to take control of the marketing. However, she was managing other things. Her time was split. When you brought her on, I think it was pretty clear the marketing department was going to get shaved from the beginning. If you truly believed in the marketing department and you want, well, and I guess I'm getting a little ahead of myself because I've already read this email. In fact, no, I'm going to hold off the rest of that for a little later. I want to be clear that we are not making these changes because marketing has become less important to Uber. I actually would argue it's become a little less important because, again, it's almost a verb now. So you don't really need to market as much, but that's just me. The exact opposite is true. We are making these changes because presenting a powerful, unified, and dynamic vision to the world has never been more important. Oh yeah, way to show a powerful and dynamic image that you are firing a bunch of people. I mean, nothing unstable about that at all. Under Jill's leadership, marketing will soon be operating at full strength, even though she still... Sorry, I hate it when that happens. Even though she still has her attention divided. These changes are incredibly difficult to make because they have a huge impact on people's lives. Duh. But a big part of our job as leaders is to make tough calls based on what is best for Uber and our long-term future, and to be honest with you about why we're making them. You know, what's interesting about this comment is that Dara Khosrowshahi has gone on record a few times saying that Uber are the people who work for them. Uber is the drivers. Uber is the employees. Uber is the people who change the future and envision things within the building. So here's the thing. If you want to do what's best for Uber and the long-term future, should you not be looking at what is best for the people and their long-term future? Because, as you have said before, Uber are the people. Just a thought. It's also critical that we look at the big picture, admit when we aren't where we need to be as a company, and most importantly, get back on track. So about a paragraph ago, you were saying how you are stronger and bold and dynamic, and yet now you're saying you aren't where you need to be in the company. You see, this is one of the reasons why mass firing emails are actually sometimes pretty hilarious to read, because it's almost like a situation of the left hand doesn't know what the right hand is doing. And we see that here. Today, there's a general sense that while we've grown fast, we've slowed down. Left hand talking to the right hand, whatever. You can see it in pulse survey feedback and all hands questions, and you can feel it in much of our day-to-day work. I'm not privy to any of this, so I don't really know what he's talking about. This happens naturally as companies get bigger, but it is something we need to address and quickly. Much of Jill's note captures the symptoms of a broader problem. Let me guess. You're scummy. You don't pay drivers good. You treat your employees like garbage. You're investing billions of dollars into technology that will never yield a profit. What is the problem? Many of our teams are too big. Oh, shoot. I almost mentioned there were too many drivers on the road, too. Bummer. Which creates overlapping work, makes for unclear decision owners, and can lead to mediocre results. Well, personally, if the marketing department was having unclear decisions and there were mediocre results, it might be because you didn't have a dedicated marketing team manager. As a company, we can do more to keep the bar high and expect more of ourselves and each other. Yeah, you could have hired a marketing manager to fix the marketing department rather than just fire 400 people. So put simply, we need to get our edge back. But and this is why I kind of paused, because my goodness, you fire a third of your marketing department. It's like, we want our edge back. It's like, no, you didn't. You're not going to get your edge back. You've lost lots of your edge because you did this. Being fast wins. What does that mean? Coupling that with strong alignment and exceptional talent makes magic, and we need magic to deliver on our world-changing mission. Yeah, I don't know what that's got to, how that's supposed to be comforting at all. I don't even know what it means, to be honest. This topic has been a consistent one for the ELT over the last few months. We are all committed to ensuring we build the best organization that we can execute with the high standards to win in this enormously competitive market. You see, what that paragraph tells me is, when they say they've been talking about this for the last few months, to me, I'm picturing a bunch of bored people sitting around and going like, well, shoot, we're still losing money and the shareholders don't like it. What can we do? I know. How about we cut the marketing department? An excellent idea. That's what I see it as anyway. Good simply isn't enough. Yeah, but you're not even good at what you do. So, I don't know why you're bringing it up. We are going for great. Yeah. Wow. They didn't even come close to the target. In fact, their missile landed in the other yard. So, yeah. This is one tough and totally necessary step that we have taken. I'm here to win a race that really, really matters, and I'm psyched to be in it with you. You're not in it with them? You're firing these people. You're not in it together. I'll share more tomorrow at the all hands. See you there. Yeah, I hope the information about what's going on at the all hands gets leaked somehow. If anyone at Uber wants to tell me what was being said, I promise I will keep you anonymous. My email is below. So anyway, yeah, this. And look, here's the thing. Obviously, he had to write something. You can't just fire a third of the staff in one of your departments and not say anything at all. And these letters are always tricky because it's like, there's really only one reason you typically would fire a bunch of people like this, because you need to save money, but Uber is in a precarious situation. They keep wanting to show themselves like they are strong, that they are big, that they are confident, that they make money. And laying off 400 people sends the exact opposite message, so they have to try to steer it back to the main point. That's why you hear stuff about being dynamic. You hear about edge. You hear about being fast, whatever the heck that has to do with anything. You hear about these things because it makes Uber appear bold and confident, like no, everything's fine. We've got everything under control. And yet, just by the mere fact they're laying people off, they don't have things under control. Look at that stock. It's still down. It's still down. And it's just going to keep going lower and lower, especially when the earning results come out. And yes, I'm predicting another $3 to $5 billion loss. I really don't think they've cut enough expenses at all, and this is not going to help them that much. But anyway, we're going to leave it there. What do you folks think? Heck, are any of you watching this? Are any of you people who worked for Uber? What was it like? Please let us know in the comments below. Like, favorite, share, subscribe. If you enjoy my videos, consider becoming a Patreon member. It's totally optional, of course, but even as little as $1 a month goes a long way to helping the channel run smoothly, and you get access to my Patreon's exclusive blog. Also, with gas prices the way they are, check out the Get Upside app below. You will get cash back on every gas purchase, and the app is totally free. If you want to see more videos from me that are not rideshare related, check out my other channels, Kevin T. Rodriguez, the Apptrepreneur Vlogs, and Autograph Hound. And finally, if you want to talk to me or other fellow rideshare drivers, check us out on Facebook at the Apptrepreneur Hangouts. And as always, flame responsibly. Have a good one.